Look, y'all, I have new stencils. These are super fun NeuroDoodle stencils. So if you like doing neurographic art or something similar to that, I think you will like these. I don't think you can really see. There we go. Now you can see them. Yeah, I've been using them. They're kind of well loved. And I put these out there because I had in mind, I do a lot of NeuroDoodles. This is not true neurographic art. Let me just make that clear up front. These are inspired by neurographic art. They're just kind of my doodly version of it. And I hear from people frequently who say, you know, yeah, I did exactly what you said to do. Mine just don't turn out right. You know, I don't like them. I don't like the way they look. They're just, I don't, you know, I'm not happy with my results. So I thought it would be cool to have a stencil to kind of help as a guideline, because I'm all about using a stencil, you know, to trace the design or, you know, to kind of help me out, because I don't have any natural drawing skills. So I originally thought that's what these would be good for, and then I started playing with them, and I've just decided that there's just so much more that you can do with them. I'm really liking doing this because this is basically a NeuroDoodle with no effort. This was done on the gel plate. So I'll give you some gel plate tips and then some not gel plate tips. I know that not all of us have gel plates or even like them. This is my Valentine. Well, it's probably as far as I will get on making an actual Valentine. So that's why I'm calling it my Valentine for 2023. And I'm telling you, I just love all of the weird, interesting, doodly, easy things that you can do with these. These are just kind of my practicing with all different kinds of inks and paints and techniques and stuff. I just used nearly an entire book of John Donne's poems. I hope he likes what I've done with his work. But yeah, I've just had all kinds of fun messing around with these. I've been doing a lot of stuff on tissue paper with some alcohol inks, and I even made a little booklet. This started out its life as this box of stevia. These are the little stevia packets that I use in my coffee, so I buy these all the time. And it's just the perfect size for the stencil image, you know, folded in half. So it made the perfect little book. And then I put some paper beads along the spine, and then I even did the little fiber hangy things like we used to do, you know, back in the 90s, whenever it was. And those, some are mine, but most are from Taper Logic, because they have some beautiful fibers available now. And I put some paper beads in there, and then I just put some random gel print pages inside. Made a little book. So there's that. There's these. So let me show you kind of what I've been doing. I may need this one. And this tissue paper is just tissue paper. I think that deli wrap would be fabulous to do this on. I just don't have any deli wrap. So I'm using what I've got, which is, I think it's like dollar store tissue paper. It's not even good tissue paper. It's super thin, cheesy tissue paper. But I had some big sheets of it, so I kind of tore them down into smaller, manageable pieces. And you see they are super thin. They tear really easy. But I've got a lot of it, so I don't worry about it if they do. And that's what I've been using on the gel plate. So let's do that first, right quick. And I'm just going to kind of give you some, I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff out there saying, here's what you can do, here's what you can do. And then what you do with it is up to you. So I'm going to use, I'm just going to do the basic thing first. And we'll just grab one of the stencils. There's this one, which is called what did we call it? Supernova. I have to look. These are all available, by the way, from A Colorful Life Designs, part of the January releases, and I'll have all this information down in my video description. So you're going to want to go over there. You're going to check out all the new stencils for January, and then check out all the old ones that have come out since the last time you were there, because they come out really regularly, like monthly, I think. And there's going to be some you haven't seen and that you're going to need. And then I'm going to give you a discount code so that you can get whatever you want at a discount. And Mary Kay always comes up with great names. Supernova is this one. And then we have hearts. She got real creative there. And again, with the circles. So, yep. We've got those 3 available for now, and if this is something we really like, you know, I'll make more. But let me show you how I did the technique that I used here, which, I mean, you can do several different ways, but this was kind of fun because I just used the tissue paper, black paint, and then some alcohol inks. And, yeah, I really like the way it turned out. So, I'm out of the black paint that I actually used on that, so I've started scrounging around for other black paints. This is a lot thicker than the one I used the other day. Hopefully that means it'll just be even better. I don't ever, well, hardly ever, use expensive paints on my gel plate. And when I do use them, it's because I either found them on clearance somewhere or someone gave them to me. I don't buy expensive paint. I have more important things in my life to spend money on than free paint. So, yeah, just use whatever paint you have. Lay your stencil down. And then the first pull that you're going to do is to remove all the background. And, you know, that's basically like this one. It just pulls off the background. But it's not a throwaway because you're going to get, you know, a good stencil image. So keep it. And that's actually what I used to do the cover of that book. Now you want to really press in, you know, don't squish down. You don't want to squish all your paint out from under the stencil because you need that. But you do want to press everything down, make good contact, so that you get a clear image and that you pull up a lot of the black around it. And you may have to do this a couple of times to get all the paint off. Now, if you're using cheesy tissue paper like me, you carefully pull it up. And there you have that beautiful image, and you're going to want to let it dry. And then, okay, you've got this right here, and usually I don't get a whole lot on the stencil, but I'll pull it up and put it over here anyway, you know, just in case there's some still on there that comes off. Yeah, not very much, but this is what you want. And what I do here, I will take this and put it on my whatever paper that I want. Let's just do this. I want that one. Like so. So this is just, you know, basic stencil technique. Like so. So this, and I've done it on some of my other ones, this is a perfect kind of traceable, you know, let the paint dry, and then you can go around with a marker or a pen or whatever you want, kind of trace the lines, practice rounding the corners. This is a good kind of a practice sheet for you. If that's something you want to do is practice the NeuroDoodle techniques, then yeah, That's all kinds of fun. See, I would probably go in and put some background color on and then go around and retrace my lines. I love that. Now, what I did next for this cover is I took my pole that looked like this, and this one is still drying, so we're just going to leave it alone. I have this one that's already dry, and back, front. So what I'm going to do, and I don't even care about whatever's left on there, that's fine, it can do whatever it wants. I'm going to put some alcohol inks on there. I've just chosen a few colors, and they're in those big bottles, so I need me some squeezy dropper things. Pipettes. And I will just kind of put them on here in random ways. Oh, gloves. Got my gloves. Yes, I've got like stains around several of my fingers because I did this the other day and I forgot to put gloves on. You know, I got halfway through it and noticed what my hands look like, and you know, it's at that point that I go, oh yeah, you're supposed to wear gloves with alcohol ink. I didn't. Okay. So these are pinata colors. This is lime green. Oops. So I'm just going to take a little lime green and make some dots. I don't trust myself to leave that open. I've got my computer right there, so it would be super easy for me to knock something over and into that. And that would be a sad, sad day at the greenhouse. This is magenta. And then let's do maybe this blue, Baja blue. Oh, you know what? Yellow brightens everything up. So we could do a little yellow. Okay. Ooh, these smell kind of funky. Yeah, they've seen better days. I've got a little alcohol in a spray thing here, and I'm just gonna spray it on there. Maybe move them around just a little bit. I think I want to spray some more. And then I'm gonna lay my thing on there. I want the back side to the alcohol ink. So front side up. Smush it down so that the alcohol ink goes everywhere. And then peel it up and let it dry. Oh, there's a little naked spot right there. Don't want any naked spots. And it's hard to see exactly what's going on, and it will be hard to see until it dries. But it's going to be lovely. Check the front, check the back. Sometimes your back looks better than the front, sometimes not. So there's that. And I'm going to do this. Maybe, let's just see if it'll pull up. I'm going to add some more alcohol. See what happens if I do that. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. Look how simple that was. Oh man, that's beautiful. Okay, I think this is my new favorite. Can we just sit here and do this all day? Should we? I think we should. That is really gorgeous. Okay, so there is a super simple technique to use with your gel plate to make really fun prints. And you saw, you know, this is, no, that's not it. This is my one print, which, you know, as soon as it dries good, I'll do the alcohol ink on it. And then from that same inking up of the plate, I was able to do this. So, yeah, it's kind of a twofer. You get twofer. Alright, so let me set this aside, get all this alcohol ink stuff out of the way, and then I'll show you how to do another thing that I started doing. I was doing this one just yesterday. I'm going to empty these out onto here, and then it's going to kind of dry. And then that's good because I'll bring it back to life with some alcohol and then, you know, smush it around like we did and pick it up. And it'll all be good. No wasting. Alright. Now, I'll put that somewhere where I won't regret it later. Alright, right there. Now, let's move on to this other thing that I was doing. I'll show you my little Valentine. And I mean, y'all, these are stencils. They work like a stencil, basically. So you can do anything with them that you do with a regular stencil. But because of their design, they do add a little extra. There's a little extra that you can do with them that's kind of fun. And this is one of those things. Oh, this one did really well. This was one of those that, like I just did with the alcohol ink. And some of these I put a layer of front and back of just some polyacrylic sealer just to give it a little bit of a sheen and make the paper a little sturdier. I did that before I covered this book because, you know, tissue paper tears so dang easy. So yeah, it is a little bit sturdier if you do that. And I just did it on one of my no-stick mats, which most of mine have actually lost their no-stick properties. They've been so used. But, you know, that's okay. Now, yes, I wanted to show you where's the heart that I did right here. I like that one. Oh, here's what I was looking for earlier. Yeah, these are the ones that I did over the already painted papers. And they just turned out beautifully. So, I did, this I really liked. And this one I really liked. Those were my favorite out of all my experiments. I'll show you kind of sort of how I did those. I took, let's do this one, just 'cause. And I've got my book here. And what I did was I took a book page, not a torn up one. Okay. Took a book page, just like so. I took some masking tape, and then I kind of put my stencil over the book page where I want it. Like that. And put my masking tape. Yeah, I know, I've got it over the paper and the stencil, and that's okay. We'll fix it. We'll deal with it. There we go. And then I'm going to use paint to paint my background. These are DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylics. Use whatever you got. For this one, I used, you know, probably Apple Barrel. I am not a paint snob. There we go. And you can use whatever you want to apply these. I think I'm just going to use a couple of little dollar store makeup sponges. When I did this the other day, I experimented with all kinds of inks and paints. I used watercolors. I used different kinds of crayons and pastels. I used, oh my gosh, what else did I use? All kinds of inks. I tried some dye ink, some pigment ink, some chalk ink. Yeah, I used all kinds of stuff. And I found that it's all good. It all works, whatever. Some of them reconstitute when I add water. There's going to be a water situation here. This is a water feature. So, yeah, some of them reconstitute, which was kind of fun. And some, like this acrylic paint, does not. It kind of stays put, which is great. So, yeah, you just can't go wrong. And you're just using it in, you know, true stencil fashion, like you did, you know, when you were a kid in school. Okay, now I'm going to go in and make a mess. Hold this up and then just fill in right there as if, you know, that never happened. There. Okay. And then hopefully you've got some kind of, you know, scraps or something nearby where you can rub off all your excess paint, because those are the best backgrounds. Am I right? Do we all agree? These always turn out better than the stuff you do on purpose. Okay. So, we've got this one done now. And let's dry it. And then what I've done is I've gone through and used several different things. I've used this is a Stabilo all pencil, which bleeds out with water, right? I've used a graphite pencil. I've used one of these Elegant Writer pens. These bleed fabulously. Let's use this one on here. We'll probably lose a lot of the fun bleedy properties of this because of the dark background, because this will bleed in color, kind of the color on my hands, not quite so bright. But then what I like to do is just go in and trace these lines. Now, since this is not, you know, legit, true neurographic art, not all of my lines go all the way to the edge of the page. So, yeah, you're going to figure that out as you trace, if that's something you choose to do. And I don't mind that. I'm picking up some wet paint. I didn't really let it dry enough, but that's all right. Okay. Now, when you get them all, just ink in the spaces however you want. Excuse me. I'll lay down a scrap piece of paper. I will get me a blotter piece of paper. Then I will spray this with some water so that that ink or Stabilo pencil, or you can use watercolor pencils, watercolor pens, you can use crayons, you know, those water-soluble crayons or oil pastels, or, you know, whatever. Just give your whatever a minute to loosen up, and then blot off the excess. And usually what you're blotting off, if you used watercolors or some kind of paint that will reconstitute, then you'll get kind of a lovely, you know, smushy background. You normally don't pull up much of the pattern to make sense. Sometimes I did on some of these, but most of the time it's kind of blobby. But it's interesting. So there's that. So, oh look. And see, this is the colors. I don't know if you can tell, but the colors you see here, that's from the Elegant Rider pen. That's just what happens when you wet it. It leaches out that color. And then some of it is in here, which I think looks really cool. Yeah. And then this one has also got some of the Elegant Rider on it. And always check the back. Sometimes it's cooler than the front. So there is another idea. So let's do one, let's do like a scribblier one with, okay, we've used the circles, we've used the supernova, let's use the hearts. Okay, let's use this one. And we'll do kind of what I did here. I wish I could remember. Oh, I think I used water-soluble oil pastels in this background, and it was really kind of a beast. It was not fun. I don't think I want to do that again. What do I want to do? Let me see what falls out into my hand when I stick it out. The re-inkers were easier to reach, so that's what we're using. And these are from Marvy. These were the Marvy Matchables, which I bought. It was like the first set of ink pads that I bought probably 25, 30 years ago. I don't know. This is Plum. Ochre. I don't want dark brown. I don't need another ochre. What is this? Cherry. Ochre. I went through a lot of ochre back in the day, y'all. And violet. Okay. That's what we'll use. So, well, I've got these. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, there's some cherry. All right, dye, ink. Fill in our little tape thing. I did, you know, I taped on the back of the paper, taped it down, and then tried to tape along the edge so that I wouldn't have to do this part, and it was just, trust me, this was easier. So, yeah, that's what I went with. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Now, that pretty much soaks in instantly, so I'm going to take my Stabilo All pencil. It needs to be sharpened. So I'll give it a little sharpen. And then I'm just going to kind of scribble my lines. Okay, first what I'm going to do is do my hearts, because I find if I don't do those right away, my eyeballs lose them. And I'm going to go over them, you know, 2 or 3 times. Not really paying attention, you know, kind of scribbly on purpose, so you can see the separate lines. Yeah, like that. And then let's just do the same thing we did before, going through and doing all these lines. You don't have to do them all. If you're thinking, oh, this started out really fun, now it's getting tedious, then don't do them all. Now, well, I was so engrossed in what I was doing that I was not aware my battery had died. I'm also not sure at what point that it died, but hopefully you got the gist of what we were doing. This is where we are with our squiggly lines and our wonderfully blotchy background. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a marker, just a Sharpie, and kind of go around these hearts just to bring them out. Make them more of a thing. Go. Now they're more of a thing. Then what I can do, this is kind of what I did over here. I used a white Posca paint pen just to kind of go in and, still good, yeah. Make some more lines. Like that. If you want to, you can go and pick a few of these to trace down through your hearts. Which other one? Doesn't really matter. Just pick a few to highlight. And then I used a gold pen. For this, you know, I cut it out into a heart shape. I had to cut a template on another piece of paper because, yeah, my ability to freehand a heart, even though I did freehand these, I had to erase and redo. So yes, I did have to do a little template. And then I outlined it in gold, and I put some little gold things here and there. So you can do that too. You can put like some little gold dots either on the inside or the outside. I think I did like 1, 2, 3, like that. So there is just an idea for a card background, a journal page, a Valentine, whatever you want to make it. I could just sit here and continue to kind of doodle and make marks and stuff all day long because, you know, it's fun. And it's easy with the guideline already there, especially if you're not too confident about your own doodling skills. Believe me, I get it. Come sit by me. I totally understand it. So that's kind of all I wanted to show you. You know what? This one's dry. Let's go ahead and finish it out. Because I left these splotches on here. So let me glove up. And we'll go ahead and finish that one and then call it a day. I want to get this uploaded so that I have it ready to go on January 1st. I think that's when these become available. And I don't want anyone to, I don't want you to miss it. So let's get this done. Let's, I'm going to add, because, you know, there's never enough. Too much is never quite enough. Let's add some purple so that it can really muddy up with that green, because that's awesome. And, oh, how about some orange? Because that doesn't play well with purple or green. Let's just walk on the edge here. Okay. And then a tad more magenta because it really is my favorite. Anytime I'm messing with alcohol inks, I don't know, and it doesn't really matter what the brand is, everyone's magenta makes me happy. Is it my favorite color? I always say I don't have a favorite. You know, I can't really pick a favorite. Maybe it's magenta. Alright. Spray it with alcohol. I use, I don't remember if I said before, 91% isopropyl alcohol / surgical spirits, whatever they're called in your neighborhood. And slip that on there. Get it all covered. I don't want to work it too much because I don't want all those colors to really blend, you know. I just want them to kind of sit next to each other and play nice. I've got some pages. These are some, you know, where I just kind of laid the stencil on there and whatever was left on it printed, or it was my bottom layer. So I think I'm going to use those. Oh, that's going to be nice. Set it aside. I think I will use these to pull up the rest of my alcohol ink. I really am, and sometimes I do it, but I'm not a big fan of putting like an acrylic backer over my dried alcohol ink to pull it up. Sometimes I like that look, but a lot of times I just want the alcohol ink. So doing the, you know, spraying the alcohol while it's on your plate will pull it right up. And I love that. I love that look. That's just me. All this around the edge. Just a little piece of tissue maybe. If you spray it too much, it will dilute it. You're going to lose some of the awesome color, but you want to spray it enough to make it let go. So it's a fine line. Oh yeah, I need something in the middle of that. Maybe there's a spot right there. See if that'll pick up from the back side. That's fine. Fill in some of my naked spots. Oh, now tell me that's not fabulous. Oh, I love it. I think I love it a little more right here. Yep, just like that. So cool. So yeah, you don't always have to have the you know, whatever you call it, that layer of paint to pull off your alcohol ink. Just use alcohol to pull it off. And then you get the beautiful clear color. So that is all I have for today on our new NeuroDoodle Stencils. Check out my video description for the link to the website and for the discount code to go over and grab some of these and treat yourself and see what else is new over there at A Colorful Life Design. She has some of the most awesome stencil designs. they're so usable to me. They're very versatile and usable. So go check them out and have a fabulous day. The end. And that didn't even look like paint. I don't know what just came out of there. Okay, some of these I haven't actually used in a while. That looked like, you know, the first squirt of the ketchup bottle when you didn't shake it up. It's got the kind of snotty stuff that comes out. Oh, yeah, that's just what came out of my black paint. Why does this one feel new? Because it is. I tried to bite the cap off. I bit the sleeve. Okay, that one.